Kitchen Conversations with Jessica Silas.
Yeah. This is where you wanna be. This is where you wanna be. This is where you wanna be. Friendship, food, and honesty. Friendship, food, and honesty. Friendship, food, and honesty. This is where you wanna be. This is where you wanna be. This is where you wanna be. Come in and join the conversation.
Kitchen Conversations with Jessica Silas.
This is where you wanna be. 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 This is where you wanna be.
Kitchen Conversations with Jessica Silas.
Hey everybody, I'm Jessica and this is Kitchen Conversations with Jessica. Welcome to the family. This is going to be amazing. I hope you're strapped in. I hope you're ready for a great, a fantastic, and exciting ride. We're going to talk food. We're going to talk life. We're going to talk love. We just going to talk and we're going to eat. Today, I have a very special person here joining me in the kitchen. Her name is Miss Q. Don't get it twisted. And she's the most amazing person I've probably ever met. She owns Gravity Dance Company and she just does all things mom. She does all things life. She does all things inspiration. Her life inspires me. Her story inspires me. And I hope that you guys get inspired just like me. So strap in. We're going on a ride. Miss Q, baby!
Hi, honey!
Welcome to the kitchen!
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy. There's nobody in the world that I would have wanted to open up Kitchen Conversations. It's my baby. I had to invite Miss Q, baby. And I just hope that everybody gets all that I know that they can out of you, out of your life, out of your positivity, out of your journey. It's just so much to just grasp and to hold on to. And I'm like, ooh, we gonna have Miss Q in the kitchen.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy. I'm like literally happy. And so today we're gonna be talking about tough stuff. Not only overcoming tough stuff, but being tough stuff. She's the definition of tough, okay? She cute. Don't let it fool you. She tough. So before we get into the conversation, we gonna talk about this food situation. Listen, we're both California girls. So California girls love tacos. So guess what day it is? It's taco day here in the kitchen. So we're gonna have ourselves some salmon tacos. We're gonna put some roasted kale on top of it. We have our mango salsa. We have our guac because we're extra like guac. And then we have our cheese, our avocado cream sauce. It's about to be a whole party in our mouth. And I'm so excited that I get to cook with you.
I'm so pumped to cook with you.
This is gonna
my
be
favorite thing.
Right. Okay, so let's start with our salmon so we can get it on the stove. So we're gonna grab this here.
Sure.
I have my seasoning here.
Okay.
Already pre-mixed. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Are you guys gonna know? I don't know. So just gonna sprinkle like salt bags. Okay. We're gonna do a little sprinkle. Yeah, a little like
Yeah.
So sprinkle it on the stove. I already have our butter. It's heating up because I love to cook salmon in some good old organic butter full of vitamins, full of minerals. People don't know that. People be thinking that butter is so bad. It's not. It's not buy the right quality, right. So trust us.
Right. And everything's good in moderation, right?
Yes. So a little bit of butter ain't never hurt nobody. Okay. Let me turn this fire up just a wee bit.
Okay. You know, I'm watching is that my schedule is so crazy. I don't do a lot of cooking at home. So I'm really jumping in and I'm going to take all these notes.
You gonna take the
And I'm
notes?
going to take the notes
But
on
you
Sunday.
busy. You
I
busy.
am. I have no time to do anything but work.
But let's talk about this busy life of yours.
Okay.
You
Let's do it.
are the owner
Yes.
of Gravity Dance Company. And I just watch from afar, like on social media, like I know Miss Q for years, probably like 10 years.
Yeah.
It's been like 10
It's
years.
been definitely 10 years for sure.
We
for
randomly
sure.
met through some like mutual
Right.
friends, and I was
Right.
like, she's so cute, she's so
And I was like,
sweet.
she's so fabulous. I love her and I didn't even know you.
And I was like, I just love her. I love her energy. I love her, like, your attitude.
Likewise, for
And
sure.
she's always just been full of love. Like, I remember people used to call her Black Barbie.
Yep.
She's always
You
been-
remember that?
Yes.
Oh my, before that became like the cool
Right.
thing.
So I
Wow.
was like, ooh, like, you know, normally when girls are like super pretty and super have like their life together, they kind of like stuck up. She was just always just full of love, full of grace, full of just everything. And I was like, I love that about you.
That's
so
you too.
warm. You're so warm.
Thank you so
genuine.
much.
So
That's all I know how to be. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Living of life and being blessed and just pouring myself into others every single chance I get. So
I love it.
I appreciate hearing that from you. That's my goal.
Okay, so I'm gonna slide this on right here.
Salmon is my absolute favorite, and I don't know. She did her research.
I did my
Salmon is
research.
my favorite thing ever. I don't eat a lot of anything outside of fish and poultry, so I'm happy for all that. My stomach is dancing right
It's
now.
like happy dance
It's
going
ready.
on.
Yep. It's dancing.
So, speaking of
Okay.
dancing,
Yes.
Gravity Dance Company.
Yes.
Where did this whole big idea come
Oh
from?
my goodness.
How was it you? How did you?
You know what? The crazy thing is, I think a lot of people thought that was my plan from the get-go. Like, I started dancing very late in my life. So I started dancing in high school, like my freshman year. Most people dance since they were 2 and 3 years old.
Wow.
Little toddlers, taking their baby ballet classes.
Right.
But I always did cheer. I was more of a cheerleader. So I jumped into dance class at Wilson High School, which is where all of my cheer, I didn't go through it. All my cheer friends were dancers. I was like, let me go and give a stab at this.
Yeah.
Jumped in. It came so natural to me. And I never felt more myself than I did when I was in that dance room.
Wow.
Which is insane. So I just really kind of speedballed my dance training. And by the time I was a senior, I was already on the dance team. I was student choreographer while being cheer captain.
Oh.
And then I was like, you know what, this dance, like once I realized you can make a lucrative career out of dancing, I danced at Disneyland, I did parades, I did music videos, commercials, movies, and a life-changing injury and breaking my leg. And I don't even know if you knew that.
No, I knew you around
Oh,
that
that's
time.
right.
I was like, why baby girl? She got
In a whole cast, but it was airbrushed.
No,
It was blinged out. I was on my crutches.
She's
Like,
always been fly, like no matter
Listen.
what, a whole cast on her leg.
I had
And
it was my
she was
thigh.
like,
Yeah.
She was just like, hey everybody, I'm
at
here.
the party still.
Right. Yes, she was
So-
there. She was at every event, every
My life didn't stop.
fabulous. Okay.
Thank you. My life did not stop. So once that
I'm gonna grab
happened,
something.
sure, do your thing. Once that injury happened, I ended up going into the corporate world. Had a really great job at Toyota Motor Sales.
Ooh,
Which
come
to
on,
me,
Toyota.
I was like,
used to work
okay.
at Toyota.
Yeah, so I'm like 23, and I said, okay, cool, this is some great money, that's money. And I just wasn't happy there. I wasn't fulfilled. I'm an artist at heart. And eventually I ended up going back to school. I picked up dancing again. I started dancing and touring with a group of friends, just choreographing and just jumping in shows. And one day somebody's like, oh, what's the name of your company? And I was like, and the song we were dancing to was called Gravity.
Wow.
I said, we're Gravity Dance Company. She said, oh, that's a beautiful name. And I was like, and from that moment on, I ended up having people ask me, like, oh, when are you going to start teaching kids? Oh, and you teach this to you? When are you going to teach your own classes? And I was like, I should do that. I started getting laid off from my job at Toyota. And I was so heartbroken about it because it was such a good gig. And I said, you know what? God is telling me something because I kept saying how much I didn't want to live working in this corporate 9-to-5 life for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And then boom, 3 months later, I lost my job. Started Gravity that fall of 2011. I'm going into my 10th year next year.
10 years.
Crazy. I
10
mean, crazy.
years.
I'm a total girl boss, and it's so much work, but I love it. I've never been so fulfilled, and all the lives that I get to touch every day gives me so much peace and so much comfort and so much fulfillment, which is exactly what I was looking for.
Yes,
It's
I
crazy.
love it. So just so everybody's aware of what we've been doing, while Miss Q was talking, I have kale here. For our tacos, instead of just basic lettuce, you know, people be throwing lettuce and you
Yeah.
don't even eat it.
That's true. I'm not a
And
big
so,
rice fan.
right. And so I do kale chips. And
Okay.
so I put roasted kale chips on my tacos. And so on this, I dabble a little olive oil on this. But the key is making sure that your kale is dry, like after you wash it.
Okay.
Make sure it's dry before you put it in the
Sure.
oven.
Okay.
Oops, I mean that one's
That's okay. Just a little extra.
Right,
You
a
know.
little extra olive oil.
Yeah.
And then after that, I added some lemon pepper because it, gives you a little tang. So it's literally gonna be like a flavor explosion.
Yeah.
You're gonna.
It's getting hot in here. Y'all see
It
me
is.
glowing?
Yes.
I'm glowing.
It's hot in
I'm a
the
dancer. I'm always sweating. So I'm gonna stay away from the food until time to eat it. Don't mind me.
And
Get
so,
over here.
yeah, I tossed it in the lemon pepper,
Yeah.
tossed it in the olive oil.
Got you.
And you can do me a favor and
Sure.
get that cooking tray.
Yes.
Check on our salmon.
Yum, yum. So where do you want me to put this?
You can put it
Put
right here.
Okay.
We gonna
Look
flip
at
our
it. It's so
salmon.
pretty. Yum.
I love a good salmon. And then after I flip my salmon,
Okay.
I love citrus.
Yeah.
And so lemons, limes, like that's my jam, okay?
Doesn't it kind of bring out the flavor
It
of
does.
the food? Okay. Because it makes a big difference. I noticed when I squeeze a little lime over my branzino fish, or I love it. I love,
Yes.
right? Nachos are the best, by the way.
Yes.
But probably yours even better. But I understand that. Like I never knew why people did that until I realized like it really kind of pulls the flavors out
Yes.
of the food. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Cool.
So I'm gonna just dump this little thing on here. We sauteed our salmon, we roasted our kale, we got our mango salsa, our guac, our cheese, our avocado cream sauce, and we got tacos.
We got tacos.
So, let's enjoy.
Okay.
Give it a little bite.
I'm so excited to try these. Girl.
We did that.
Mm-hmm.
We did that. Fire. The crunchiness from the kale,
So good.
the sweet, the spicy little kick. This is fire.
It all perfectly goes
It
together.
just blends together and
Yeah.
it's like explosion in your mouth. There you go. Thank you.
And this cream sauce, a perfect
Yes,
topping.
I love a good avocado.
Yeah.
So, we're enjoying food, but I know that people really want to know more about Miss Q.
Sure.
I personally know bits and pieces of your journey, and I'm completely inspired. And it's mind blowing how someone has the strength and just the willpower to keep pushing, to keep fighting in situations where normal people would give up, throw in the towel, and just be like, it just is what it is. These are my cards. I just have to accept them. But that was never your case, and I don't want to tell your story by any means because it's your story.
Right.
So can you just tell people about why Tough Stuff is you, how you're able to overcome it,
Yes.
what that even looked like how did you know that you were Tough Stuff?
Oh wow, that's a really good question. And I feel like that is developing every day for me in my life. And I think in this last chapter of things that I've been through is when I really realized you were really strong. You were so phenomenally strong. And I think growing up and in my younger years, those developmental years, your teens, your early 20s, I was spending so much time trying to find out who I was and what defined me, and I felt like I was lacking in a lot of ways, and this last chapter of life really showed me girl, you're it. As you know, I'm a 2-time cancer survivor.
2 times.
2 times. I had cancer twice and beat it twice in the last 2 years. That's the part that throws people off. I'm 34 years old. I was diagnosed with cancer August of 2017. Cervical cancer at that. So that's a gynecological cancer, and a lot of people think, breast cancer is the cancer for women, and gynecological cancers are often really overlooked. There's ovarian cancer, there's cervical cancer, there's uterine cancer, and they're all very, very closely related because it just basically is determined by where your tumor is located.
Yeah.
And a lot of times as women, which I'm not, but I've learned about my peers, we don't really do a lot of self-checking when it comes to that because it's not breast cancer.
Right.
So,
it's not the popular cancer.
it's not the popular cancer. I'm the kind of person, anytime I cough, I run to the doctor. So when I notice abnormalities with my body, I noticed myself losing weight, I was very lethargic. As you know, I'm a dancer, I have a dance studio, I'm very active. And I started to notice little changes with myself, so I was like, let me go get checked out and see what's going on. And my doctor found a huge 4-centimeter tumor in my cervix.
Wow.
And it was just wait, I'm sorry, what? And hearing the words, you have cancer, I don't wish that on, I don't even have enemies. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And then I heard that moment, I heard those words, excuse me, and I honestly don't remember much after that for the first 5 or 10 minutes or so. And then I remember my mom grabbing my hand, and she's like, baby girl, are you here? We got this. And she looks over at my doctor, and I looked over at my doctor, and he said, are you ready for this? And I said, you tell me what you need to do for me, and we're gonna do it. And that's it.
Wow.
I didn't shed a tear. I looked him dead in his face, and I said, you let me know what needs to happen for me to beat this, and I'm gonna do it. And that's in that moment is when I realized I'm tough. And I never knew before that. Everything that I've been, and I know, it's a lot. It's okay. No, it's cool. God is good, right? That's how I'm still standing here. But in that moment, I realized that was when I knew, you're tough. You're not the super sweet, quiet girl that you were in 4th grade that didn't know where you belonged because I went to school with a lot of white kids, and I was the only little black girl, and I didn't really fit in with anybody, so I never really found my niche. And then it was middle school, and the high school was kind of the same. I went to a public school, but I was so accustomed to the type of children and the environment that I grew up in, it was a culture shock. So I always kind of felt like I didn't really know which way was up and what was what, and I knew to jump into certain things. But once I heard you have cancer, I was like, okay, baby girl, it's go time. Everything that you've done in your life has led up to this. And I didn't have a very easy health as a child. I didn't have good health as a child.
Wow.
I had sickle cell.
What?
I had a oh yeah, I have sickle cell. I had a really difficult birth story. I was in the ICU for the first 3 months of my infancy. It was really bad, right? So, you know, you go through all those things and you grow up and you're like, cool, I'm good. And then you hear you have cancer and it's like, okay, this is just another thing. That's what I told myself. This is another thing. Another chapter. You've been through all kinds of things before now. You've defied the odds in so many ways. So you're just gonna do this. And it went from a surgery to learning how to walk again, learning how to eat on my own again. I spent a total of 150 days in the hospital in 2018 alone.
Jesus.
Out of a 365
That's half
day
of,
year.
like-
Yeah. And I never, ever let my faith waver because I knew God was going to see me through it. I knew that cancer wasn't going to be my demise. And I made a choice, a very conscious choice, that I was going to be this. So while everybody around me was so worried and so concerned, I was like, what are you so worried about?
Yeah.
This is going to be a testimony for me. This is going to show people how real God is. This is going to be me laughing about this 5 years from now with my house and my picket fence and my big studio and all the things that I knew I was still going to be here to see. And that's when I knew that I was checked.
I'm just like, I'm speechless. I'm a little emotional.
Yeah, of course.
That's just
of
like,
course. That's good stuff.
I knew her story. I knew bits and pieces of her story. I've actually watched it unfold for quite a while.
Yeah.
But even I think one of the biggest things that stood out during your whole like journey, because you were really transparent about it. Like you were so open, you were so transparent. One thing that I remember was you always looked your best. Like you were always cute. Like I mentioned before, she was known as like Black Barbie, guys. During her whole cancer like journey, she was like, her face was beat, her hair was done, like she looked so cute. And then I remember like after when she was in remission, she posted about how she almost died a day. Like, and I was just like, what? Every time she posted, and I could tell like it wasn't like let me put on for the gram or anything like that. Why was like looking your best so important to you in the midst of that? Because I mean, people just be like, forget it. Like I'm going through something, forget how I look, let me just be this.
Absolutely. I would sit in the chemo room every single week and I would see these people who were literally dying around me, losing their hair, losing their weight, losing their faith, their eyebrows starting to just slowly just disappear. And I was like, you know what? I have to maintain as much normalcy as I can.
Yeah.
And I need to keep my quality of life as normal as I can so that I can keep this mentally sharp.
Wow.
The tenacity that I had to basically provide for myself to be mentally and sound to get through these things because it was tough.
Yeah.
It was painfully tough. Like the worst pain I've ever experienced was having invalid cancer. Hands down. Like I wouldn't even talk about half of it, which that's the stuff I don't share on social media.
Yeah.
Because it is very much like, oh my goodness, my stomach is hurting me thinking about something like that happening to me. But for me, it was really important for me to keep my schedule. And every day I get up, I shower, I walk my dog, I put on my brows, my face, my bronzer, and I go out into the world and I am a ray of sunshine, which is a nickname I've had since I was a little kid. Like, you're just sunshine. My uncle gave me that name back in the early 90s.
Your uncle knew.
Yeah, and he knew. He was like, oh, this is my sunshine. This is my sweet sunshine. So for me, it was really, really important to keep my spirits up and to be me, be Q or Miss Q baby as much as possible because I felt like that was the one thing I could control. I couldn't control the chemo injections. I couldn't control the surgeries. I couldn't control the nausea, the vomiting, the medicine, the weight loss. I lost so much weight, but I could control how I looked. And one thing that I remember, I'll never forget, one of my surgeons told me, he said, cancer patients think that the fight is in the physical and it's in the mental and the spiritual. He said their mind and their spirit and their faith, those decrease way before their physical attributes do. He said, as long as you keep in mind that you have cancer, cancer does not have you. And that's what I told myself every single day. And I get so emotional because there's days I couldn't get out of bed. And on those days, my best friend, my mom, they'd come up to the bed, okay, baby girl, come on. It's time to shower, it's time to do this. And I was painfully sick.
Yeah.
And then other days I was emotionally sick and I just didn't want to move. My best friend would come up from San Diego, Jessica, I love you. Her name is Jessica too. She would come over and she would get all of my makeup and she'd sit it on the side of my bed at the hospital and at my house. She'd do my makeup for me and we'd talk and she'd do my brows, my face. My mom would be like, okay, come on, it's time to shower. She'd help me shower. Come on, baby, let's get dressed. I'm like, Mom, I can't do it. I can't. I'm too tired. Come on, just put on some clothes. Let's just go outside for 5 minutes. I just want you to feel some air and get some sun. And I would get outside and she's like, okay, it was 5, can we get 5 more? And it was important for me to keep me normal, but it also was just as important to the people around me to keep me normal.
Yeah.
And they made sure that they stayed dedicated to me and what I was going through and making sure that I didn't lose myself in this battle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because the spirituality and the mentality is so important. Because if you tell yourself, I can get up and I can go, or just getting up and, like I said, like you said, putting on my face, throwing on my yoga pants, doing my hair, I was like, oh, well, I'm dressed, I might as well go somewhere. And even if I can only go and stay for a half an hour and run right back home, that's what it was important to me. So you look good and you feel good. And then anything else, it's like, okay, I look the part, so I'm sick, but I'm not that sick. And that's what I was telling myself.
Right.
Even though, of course, reality was completely different.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, if there was one thing that you would like want someone to take from your life, like anything at all, like when people look at you, what is that thing that you want people to be like, because of Miss Q, or I looked at Miss Q and I learned this, or I got this from life? What's that one thing?
Ah, man, there's so many things, but I think at the top of that list would definitely be perseverance. Perseverance and just not giving up. And it sounds so cliche and so simple, but look at me. I refuse to give up. I refuse. When I first got that diagnosis, I remember my oncologist that diagnosed me, my gynecologist that diagnosed me, he referred me to a surgeon. He's like the best surgeon in California for gynecological cancer. His wait list was 4 months long.
What?
So what did I do? I called every day. I showed up to his office. I sat outside of his office. I called his assistants. I talked to his secretaries. I emailed. I said, whenever a day opens, let me know. I'm ready to go. My diagnosis date was August 10th. My surgery was September 15th. That is unheard of when you have cancer. There's so much preparation. I spearheaded the movement for me to get through that. Perseverance. Never give up. Even me owning a business, I'm part of the 8% of Black business owners in the United States.
8%!
And I'm 34 years old, and I started when I was 25. Perseverance. I didn't give up. There's not a single Black dance studio in the city of Long Beach. There's 13 dance studios. One of them is Gravity Dance Company. It's owned by me, and it's a Black face. I employ 100% African American teachers. My little girls and boys, Asian, Black, Hispanic, European, mixed ethnicity, they get to go and train other people who look like them. Perseverance. It takes time. I can't stress that enough. Do not give up. One door closing means that you take your butt down the hallway because there's another one. And if that doesn't work, oh, you know what? Wrong door, sorry. Let me go on over here. Let me see if this is for me. Just don't give up. You are the creator of your destiny. No book was ever written without a story coming before it. Something has to happen. Things need to happen. I got so many no's. I went to auditions. They're like, oh, you're beautiful. You're a wonderful dancer. You're not what we're looking for. AKA, I'm sorry, little Black girl.
Right.
You don't look like Susie over here. No offense. You're not what we're looking for. Those no's, like, you know what? That lane's like, I'm gonna create my lane.
You created a lane.
Perseverance. You gotta keep going no matter what. I beat cancer twice. My health was terrible as a kid. I run a business. I inspire people. I have so many people that come for me weekly, monthly, just because I'm out here living and being great when they could do it too. I don't listen to those naysayers. I just keep going. You have to have that perseverance, that tenacity. I teach my 5-year-olds. When they're like, Miss Q, I can't do it. I said, you don't say can't in my classroom. So what are we gonna do? You can do it, Sarah. What do we do after that? We hug her and we encourage her. Perseverance. They're learning at a pre-elementary age what that means. If anybody who knows me knows, I cannot say I gave up and I didn't try around Q because she's not having it.
Woo!
That's
Period.
it.
Period.
That's it.
Okay, so on Kitchen Konversations, we always give you guys an opportunity because I dug into your life stuff. And I mean, you poured out, and I'm so grateful. Like, if this didn't touch anybody else in the world, it touched me. Like, I already loved you. I already thought, like, so highly of you. You're so amazing. I'm inspired by you, what you do, how you live your life. You just be out here like, oh, I'm on another trip. I'm on another plane. I'm on another boat. I'm on another everything. I'm on another level. Like, catch up. And you do it just flawlessly and humbly.
Yes.
You're so humble.
That's important, Jessica. Not to cut you off, but that's important. You have
Yeah.
to be humble. My mom always says, always stay humble. You work your butt off, you earn these things, but be humble and give back. And
Yes.
I always do that.
Yes. So, because I was in your business, you get to ask
I
Jess
do.
something, anything, whatever.
I have a question I've been wanting to ask you for a long time, honey.
Ooh!
it's not anything bad. It's beautiful, right? So you obviously are very, very devout to your faith.
Yes.
You are.
I love
day in,
Jesus.
day out.
I love Jesus.
And you wear it so proudly.
And I'm a problem for hell. Period.
That's it right there. So one thing that I love about you, and it's actually inspired me with my walk, it really has, and I never told, and I was waiting until today to tell you this. I love the seamless balance that you have with being a woman of God and still living your life very abundantly. A lot of people don't know that you can do both. And what I've seen in my conversations with my friends, my significant other, and my family, and just peers, dance moms, sometimes people who are religious can be a little bit like, nope, I can't participate in that. I'm in church on Sunday, I'm in Bible study. I can't do anything outside of praising and worshiping the Lord, which is true. You want to be very, very dedicated. But what I see from you is you live your life very abundantly, and you make praise and worship and loving God, you wear it so beautifully. And if anybody sees you, they're going to want to get closer to God because they're like, oh, this is what this looks like too. It's not just, oh, I have to be in church and I have to do this and I have to read my Bible. You can still go have fun.
Yeah.
Right? But you're having fun and you're talking about the Lord, how good he is to you too, right?
Right.
So how did you find that balance? Because I don't know a lot of people who have that balance.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I know
cool.
exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about. So for me, I think initially when I first accepted Christ, I went to church a little growing up, but it wasn't like our family like, go to church, go to church, go to church. It was optional. It was an optional thing.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager, I moved with my dad, and his was like more so like, no, you're going to church. And so I went and I learned, and I was like, oh, I kind of like God. He's cool. But the church was very like, they were very religious. They were very like judgmental. But I liked God. Like the people were kind of mean to me. But God was just like the ultimate, like, I just wanted God, like, because I knew he was flawless. I knew he was loving. And so I didn't allow that to run me. Like, it literally annoys me when people are like, I don't go to church, people are judgmental. Who are you there for? The people or God?
That part.
Because it's always been him for me. And so when I initially, like after college, I was a little wild, and I decided like I really need to take this thing seriously because I know I needed more. I was broken, I was hurt, I dealt with a lot, and so I was like, I know there has to be something more. Like I know that there's more, and I have a feeling it's him. And so like when I first really like committed myself, I didn't know that balance. I literally read the Bible just to find the rules. I read the Bible from beginning to end because I was like, what are the rules of Christianity? Because I'm a rules person. Like, what's okay, what's
Very
not
structured.
okay.
Let me get all the details.
Yes.
Of course.
And I was so mad because I couldn't find any.
Yeah.
I was like, no, what are the rules? Like, can I drink wine still? Can I, like, if I cuss
go
one
with
day,
my
like, am I
friends?
going to hell? Because
Yeah.
a lot of people will try to sell Jesus as, you don't do this, you're going to hell. And he's
Right.
love, he's
Right.
peace, he's grace, he's all of these things. And so, for me, as I grew and I got to understand the character of God,
Yes.
I understood his character, and I was like, no, God's fun. God is love. God is light. He's grace. And he didn't call us to just be in the church. What good am I in the church with people who already know that he's real? I'm called to the world, to talk to people of the world, to share his heart to the world. So when people come up to me like, what makes you so different? It's him. Like, oh, you're around, you're at this party with us, you were doing this, you were doing that. You're a Christian? And it's not like, oh my God, you're a Christian. It's like, you're a Christian? Like, you're so nice. I want to do this. Like, God can be like this.
Exactly.
And there's never a time where I'm like, only Jesus sometimes. Like,
Right.
and it makes it questionable. It's always, no matter what, no matter where I am, and I'm comfortable in that. I don't have to look like everybody else. I can be in the world and still be myself and be comfortable and be accepted because of the God in me. God, like Jesus was for the people. He wasn't just in the synagogues preaching the gospel. He was out in the world with the tax payers, with the prostitutes, with the whoremongers. Like, that's where Jesus was. So if Jesus was hanging out with people like that, guess where you're gonna find me? Hanging out with people like that too.
And I love seeing that, and I think it's really, like I said, it's really inspiring.
Yeah.
The two, you can have both
Both
worlds,
and.
right?
Both and, guys.
Both and.
Yes.
Both and. It's just wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being in the kitchen with me. This was like the most amazing way to kick off season 1, episode 1 of Kitchen Konversations. This is my baby, y'all, and I got Q baby with me.
Q baby.
I'm excited. I hope you guys are ready because this is just the beginning. This type of conversation, this type of meal, like, it's only going up from here. So make sure you tune in, you follow, you subscribe, you do all that good stuff because Kitchen Conversations, you don't want to miss it.